shockingly close, extremely loud, up close and personal.
No.
Well, then what the fuck's the name of the movie?
It is extremely wicked, shockingly evil, and vile.
Oh, I'm not saying that again.
It's Drewski McGillicuddy's That Zac Efron's Ted Bundy movie review.
That's not the name of the movie.
I said I'm not saying it again. Hey everybody, it's Drewski McGillicuddy, and tonight I brought the secretary along for the review because we just watched the new Ted Bundy movie starring Zac Efron. This seems that's what everybody's calling it because this goddamn title's too fucking long. But that's beside the point. Let's talk about the movie. Now, a lot of people were talking about how, oh, Zac Efron, he's blah, blah, blah. What the fuck do you know about Zac Efron? Just because he was cast in a couple stupid-ass movies doesn't mean he's a bad actor, and this right here proves it. All right?
That's true.
What was that movie you wouldn't watch just because it had Zac Efron in it?
I don't remember.
Neighbors. She won't watch Neighbors because it's got Zac Efron in it. Why does it look like... My tripod's crooked, everybody. Don't worry about that. We're here to talk about a movie.
He's trying to make me the same height as you is all.
I want it to look aesthetically pleasing. A lot like this movie, but very aesthetically pleasing.
It was.
Somebody said something about it looks like it could have been a Lifetime movie, but it would have been the godfather of Lifetime movies. Was that Chris Stuckman or the Flick Connection? I could kind of see what they were talking about, but they might have been confusing that with the fact that this movie is set in the mid to late 70s, and it looks like it's set in the mid to late 70s. They did a very good job. They actually shot some of this movie in Covington, Kentucky, right across the river from me, and Sarah and I actually ate at the restaurant that they filmed one of the earlier scenes in the movie at called the Pepper Pod. But it was supposed to be Colorado, which the Pepper Pod is actually in Covington, Kentucky. It's been there since God knows when, and they have never updated anything, not even the menu. But they don't need to. But we're not here to talk about that. Let's just start over. Keep it all in there.
Keep going. And we also know someone that worked on the makeup crew, Amber Johnson from the Dent Schoolhouse.
Hi, Amber.
She actually is in the additional makeup credits. I can remember when she was working on that and asking people if they wanted to be extras. And I actually work at the Horror Hound convention with one of the extras who was in one of the prison scenes. I didn't see him, but because I was focusing more on Zac Efron. But that's Cliff Cash. I know him. He's an awesome guy. Really cool.
But yeah, Zac Efron. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Now I've never been much into real live serial killers, but Sarah, she collects the trading cards. She has books. She watched the Ted Bundy tapes the first night it came out.
I won't bore you with all of them, but I've got series 1 through 3.
And apparently they're pretty expensive. Anyway,
they are.
So Zac Efron, pretty much, it's kind of like Rami Malek in Bohemian Rhapsody. Zac Efron becomes Ted Bundy. Only thing is, when they showed the real live tapes of Ted Bundy, like, that dude's not good looking. And in the Flick Connection, I was watching his review of this movie. He agreed with me. Ted Bundy, and he might have been charming, but dude was fucking ugly.
No, you guys.
He was no Zac Efron.
He was no Zac Efron, but you have to stop and think back. Look at the movie stars of that time that people thought were sexy. Most of the women.
Clint Eastwood.
Well, no. Stop and think about it. Most of the women.
Not that Clint Eastwood's ugly.
From like the 70s, early 80s movies, every time you see them, like, oh, she's butt ugly. And they were like the sex symbols of the time. It's we don't have the same taste now as what they had back then. Back then, not only was he extremely charming, and he was good looking. He had rugged good looks, but his facial expressions, he could change the way he looked just by changing the slightest thing about him. You know, comb his hair differently. He looks like a totally different person. Get a little facial hair. He looks like a totally different person. So No, he was a good-looking guy for at the time.
Okay, so anyway, this movie isn't about, him murdering people. There's no gore or violence in the movie. It's basically, it starts out, he meets Lily. Really? Or is it Lily? Is that the name of the actress?
That's the name of the actress.
Oh my God! It's your turn to talk about
Here,
something.
let's bring this up for you.
Oh my God!
Her name was Liz.
That's close enough. Liz. Lily.
Anyway, this whole story is based off of Liz's book that she wrote back in, I believe, 81, talking about her experience being the girlfriend of Ted Bundy, who, at that time, it had all just come out about, what exactly he did. The trials were over. He was convicted. He still, at that time, hadn't admitted to all of the murders that he had done. He still was saying he was innocent of the ones he was convicted of and given the death penalty for.
Well, anyway, at the beginning of this movie, like, they develop their relationship and when they first meet, and I looked over at her and I'm like, am I supposed to, like, fall in love with him too? Because just how charming he was, and I guess the performance from Zac Efron, I'm going to keep bringing up his performance because, I mean, I'm not saying he should win an Oscar, but he should definitely be recognized with a nomination.
That is true.
Because, holy shit, it was good. Like, I was fascinated by this, even though I've never necessarily been interested in serial killers before, because I'm more into the fiction, like Freddy, Jason, Leatherface, all that stuff. This stuff kind of disturbs me on a different level, so I kind of avoid it. And that's the other thing. Throughout the entire movie, I'm like, because they're about to like whoop his ass or something when they're doing his teeth, I guess. And
yeah,
she's
he
like,
thought they were gonna whoop his ass.
She had to keep telling me, don't sympathize with him.
Yeah, I had to keep looking over.
He's a monster.
When he was first jailed and he's on the phone and I saw the expression on his face.
Sorry about all the noise going on in the background. She was supposed to put the dogs in the cage, not just lock them in the kitchen.
You said put
so
them in
they're
the
just
kitchen.
out there pacing around because they know I'm in here. No, that's just gonna make more noise. Sit down and just finish the review.
Anyhow,
I told you it's gonna be 5 minutes.
I had to keep looking over at him and saying, "No, you are not to sympathize with that guy," because it's from Liz's point of view. You do kind of still have that. Oh, he could just be being railroaded. He was extremely manipulative.
That's what I thought. This situation happened, and then he got popped with driving the Volkswagen, and then it just snowballed into, oh, he has to be guilty, when maybe he's not, even though I guess he is.
Well, he is,
but,
obviously, because he did.
But yeah, some of the shit they talk about that he did do is just, that's where they got the name of the movie.
Well, the name of the movie was actually a quote from the judge who sentenced him, who presided over his trial when he was sentenced to death there in Florida. The judge actually said that to him and told him that that the acts that were perpetrated were extremely wicked and violent evil.
But yeah, anyway, so I want to bring up the other things about, like, this movie is kind of a slow burn. It's a biodrama. So it's not showing all the action.
Okay, it's not a horror.
Yeah, by no means is this it's a horror movie. I mean, it's real life horror is a difference, but they don't show the horror, but it happened, and this is basically a courtroom drama. Basically a courtroom drama. Also a love story, a very awkward and weird love story. But a
very tragic love story, because I can sympathize with her. It's not fun and it's not easy being in a relationship with a manipulative person, and I'm not talking about you. No, I was previously in a relationship with a very manipulative person, and I could sympathize with her. I could identify with what she was going through when she was trying to wean herself off of him, but she couldn't. And she couldn't, help but...
Yeah, because Haley Joel Osment's in this
for
movie,
him.
and he plays this guy that worked with her, and he keeps trying to tell her, you've got to let him go. He's killing you, he's smothering you.
Well, he's killing her because she was so upset over the things she was seeing on the TV, because this was the first televised trial in television history. It was the first one to actually have live video cameras in it and be televised. And so she was watching on TV, and yeah, she was constantly drinking. Yeah, she was taking care of business, at home and whatnot, but she was becoming an alcoholic because she just emotionally couldn't handle it. And that poor Haley Joel Osment, his character, he became that shoulder for her to cry on, the sympathetic person to be there with her, and he wanted to be there for her, and he tried to help her, but yeah, all he could do was just sit and watch until she was ready to let go.
But I do want to bring up one thing. Was it just me, or was Haley Joel Osment channeling his inner Al Borland in this movie?
He did kind of.
He totally looks
Borland,
like Al Borland in this movie. Like, what happened to this kid?
He grew up.
Anyway, this was supposed to just be our quick thoughts on the movie.
Well, my quick thought is I'm sick of reading everybody's complaints about how, it doesn't show any backstory. It doesn't show him killing anybody. Blah, blah. This isn't his story. If you want to watch that, go rent I forget what they used to call those.
Bundy.
Well, it was called Bundy, but they had a cute little name for those kinds of movies back then.
Direct-to-video.
Direct-to-video serial killer biography. Fictionalized biography.
There's the one with BTK and Dahmer.
I did enjoy Dahmer.
I don't know.
But,
I can't remember. I think I watched the one about the Hillside Strangler, and it was the most god-awful piece of shit I've ever
seen. Hawkeye played Dahmer. That was good. But, no, if you want to see the horrendous things he did, then go watch one of those. Or, watch
Honestly,
the Bundy tapes.
You shouldn't want to see the horrendous things he did to real people, because that's fucking sick. I can watch a fictional movie based on... Actually, no.
I can watch anything.
Actually, that's
over
not
there.
true. I watched The Girl Next Door. And that shit will
difficult.
fuck you up.
Well, again,
you get fucked up.
That was a real.
Want to talk
that
about
was a
martyrs.
real life story.
Want to talk about martyrs and shit like that? Watch this. This is American horror right here, and
it was true.
Yeah,
that really happened.
Or you can watch the softcore version, American Crime, with Ellen Page.
I didn't watch that one.
It's almost as good.
But
of course, you can't really call that good. It's like trying to say that Requiem for a Dream is good, or Kids is good.
I've not seen Kids.
We'll change that. Anyway, what are your overall thoughts? What was your favorite scene in the movie? Before you answer, let me tell you about my favorite scene. So, Liz comes in. He's on death row. It's his last conversation before he goes off to the chair, I guess.
No, it's just his last conversation with her.
And she is trying to get him to tell her the truth about all the stuff that happened, and he keeps, telling her, I'm innocent. And then one of the detectives earlier in the movie gives her a confidential file with a photograph in it, and she said that it took 10 years to look at this picture, and she shows it. And this is where the only gore comes into effect. It's the picture of the girl they found decapitated.
One of the girls they found decapitated.
One of the girls. Keep that in mind. It's just one of the girls.
He decapitated at least 12.
Okay, so they found her. It's a picture of her, and she says, "What happened to her head, Ted?" And it's just an amazing scene. And then he goes and just writes hacksaw in the glass, and then rubs it off when the next detective comes in, because he's still
maintaining that was the thing.
Innocent.
Well, he was maintaining that he was innocent, but at that point, he was starting to piecemeal, slowly feed these detectives names of people that he had
I just
killed.
realized I should probably
just
have
so
spoiler
that-
warning pop up right before I say that because
Just have spoiler in the title. But anyway, he was
spoilers.
at that time he was slowly feeding the detectives names of women, hoping to prolong his what do they call it? His carryover.
Sentencing.
Yeah, because they had delayed his execution, his stay of execution. He was hoping to delay it longer by giving them slowly more and more and more people's names.
All right. What was your favorite part and your overall thoughts?
Well, I would say possibly my favorite part. Oh gosh. Because this was a great movie. This had a lot
It really
of good
was.
stuff.
It was a slow burn, but it was fascinating. It was captivating. Like, we were on every line of dialogue out of every character's mouth in the movie. Like, it was written extremely well. Some of the best directing I've seen in a while. Just the way the story is told, and I don't know.
I don't think I have a favorite scene, but my favorite part has to be the courtroom parts
With
there
John Malkovich.
with John Malkovich as the judge. I think that had, because I had watched the Bundy tapes when that first came out on Netflix. I stayed up way too late at night and watched all 4 hours in one night, and they showed the courtroom footage, and then to watch it as well as they recreated it on there, I really enjoyed that. My overall thoughts was this was a great movie for what it is. I mean, it's not what everyone was expecting. Yeah, people are upset because they were expecting a Ted Bundy movie. It's not. It's a
Also,
piece of the puzzle.
Remember
it's not.
when the trailer came out and everybody was talking about how they're glamorizing him and stuff?
Right.
That's not really the case at all.
No, not at all. And I think that disappoints some of the people that want to find something to hate about it, is because no, they're not glamorizing him or what he did. As a matter of fact, I felt that it was very respectful after Liz went and saw him. She had her moment of closure, and then they showed the actual footage of the outside of the prison when he was executed, and then the hearse pulling away, and then they listed the name of all of the victims.
Yeah.
And that was very touching, and I felt that was very respectful, because I think that's the thing too, is they didn't go into any sort of scenes, any sort of things that would be disrespectful to these women, that he did extremely disrespectful things too.
Yeah, I don't even want to talk about some of this shit because,
Oh, I started telling him some of the stuff.
If you want to know, find out on your fucking own. Anyway, we gotta go. Look at you. I said 5 fucking minutes. Do you want to say something? Say something into the camera. All right.
Subscribe and ring
Hey!
the bell.
Yeah, subscribe and ring the bell. Anyway, I'm gonna put, just the magic number on it. 8.5. The only thing, yeah.
I would give it a 9.
Yeah, I was gonna give it a 9, but the fact that they left me hanging on the whole shit about him helping the FBI catch the Green River Killer, I think that should have been.
It still took, I think, 17 years for them to catch, 10 or 17 years for them to catch the Green River Killer.
I don't know. They should
That
have.
was just another ploy to stay.
I want another Ted Bundy movie, everybody. I might actually go watch the Ted Bundy tapes, even though I wasn't interested
Maybe we'll
before.
watch the Ted Bundy
Now
tapes,
I
and then
kinda
I can
am.
talk more about
Yeah.
what I know.
Okay, we'll just have a secretary.
Like-
Hey, you're getting your shadow in the way. You're ruining my video. All right, everybody. They're just getting worse and worse and worse. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm doing the best I can. But just for fun, hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribed. Frank! I'll be there in a minute.
And ring the bell.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Oh, and make sure to let me know your
Oh.
thoughts on the movie down below.
Let us know, and then if you love this video, then give a brother a leg up. Go join Patreon.
Oh no, I don't
Yeah.
need nothing from you people.